Hi guys, it's me, Dimension Battles, and we have the card that I ripped right here. So if you guys haven't seen in the last video, I made a YouTube short where I ripped the card. I'm going to play the clip right now on screen. So yeah, I actually ripped this card in half, but there's a story behind it. I'm sure you guys are really shocked by the fact that I ripped a Dimension Battles card in half, but there's a good reason behind it. So we actually have a manga to go along with the card, that's right. So we have Forbidden Sorcerer. I'm going to be showing the card first, and then I'll show the manga in a little bit. So Forbidden Sorcerer is a Stage 3 Ultra Rare and one of the coolest Forbidden cards in the game. If you haven't seen the video I made on Forbidden cards go on the bottom of the deck, and you shuffle the deck separately, and you shuffle the Forbidden cards separately, and you don't get to them until the end of the deck because they're all really powerful. Forbidden Sorcerer is a Stage 3 Ultra Rare with 0 power and 0 defense. As the effect says, when this card is sent from the field to the discard pile, make your opponent's health 1, or you make your own health 10. So this is a really powerful card because you can either help yourself gain health, or you can make your opponent's only 1. So this is a really big game-changing card that can almost win the game in one move. Especially if you have cards that can destroy any creature on the field, you can just target Forbidden Sorcerer with like Punch or something and then take it out. Because if your opponent knows about this effect, then they're not going to want to take out Forbidden Sorcerer. So it was really fun drawing this card, especially drawing all the wrinkles and all the little details on this card. And it was almost like it's from the manga archetype, but it's not. It's just the style that I chose for it. And this is one of the more evil cards in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and show the manga that I actually made for this. I've been working on a superhero manga for this card, so I'm gonna go ahead and show it right here. It's based, well, the card's based off of the character. So we have the first panel right here. It says, "Good luck dodging because you can't escape the shadows." And then she goes, "Stay behind me, Bubble Boy. I'll attack first and draw his fire." And he goes, "I'm sorry, I'm just too scared to move." So you can see he's really scared right here behind her. And he's like this, it's funny because he has the cool superhero costume and everything, but he's really scared. So we have this cool guy right here, is the Forbidden Sorcerer, which is this really evil guy. And he has this necklace right here, and he has shadow power. So he can shoot like shadow beams, and he's all evil looking. I used Ibis Paint I used Ibis Paint to draw this in case you guys are curious what program I use. It's on my iPad. And then for the characters, we have Bubble Boy. His power is from his belly button. He has a belt, and he can put his finger on it and get it and create like little bubbles, so you can blow bubbles. And then he has all this armor on because he's really scared and weak, so he needs all the armor he can get. And then her power is she can, I haven't made up a name for her yet, probably some cool Japanese names I'm gonna go for, but she can melt things. So anything she touches can melt, which is why her hair is all melted, and she has melting powers. So excuse me. In the very next panel, we have her running forward. So you can see her running forward with this intense little streak of attack hitting her, and then she's using her melting powers to run faster. So she's charging at the bad guy, and she's using her melting powers so she can melt the ground. So my entire idea behind it, she was able to dodge the attack because she can melt the ground and run faster. So you can see the little action pose and all the little melting hair flying back because it's a very intense image. So yeah, she's definitely one of the main characters for this manga. And then in the very next panel, we have her going, we dodged it. With my melting powers and your bubbles, we might be able to. And then she turns around and sees Bubble Boy being struck. So she was able to dodge the attack from Forbidden Sorcerer, but unfortunately Bubble Boy wasn't able to. So we have this really intense panel where he's screaming out in terror as he's being struck by all the lightning and getting compressed, because my idea is the power is almost like drains his power away. And I really had a fun time drawing this. I went for a different hairstyle. I did the shoujo hairstyle kind of a thing where it's more like shorter strands, which I think ended up looking really good for this art style. So yeah, this is definitely really fun to make, and it creates more of a backstory for Forbidden Sorcerer. And then I even have more manga panels. Let me get the other ones. These are before I started using Ibis Paint, back when I used to draw and flip a clip. We have more panels, another story for Forbidden Sorcerer. So we have Forbidden Sorcerer right here, who's standing in the pose that he is right here on the card, which I thought would be cool to show in case you guys recognize that. And it says, "You failed another mission, Hajime? That's the name of the guy who he's talking to. I no longer have a need for you in my forbidden army. So unfortunately for you, your time on this earth has come to an end." So he has this cool evil speech, and he's sitting inside of this nice looking cave right here. And I drew the entire cave background myself. I think it was really fun to try and draw a background for once. I didn't want to draw the left hand, which is why I drew these shadows floating around him to cover it up. Then on the bottom, you have him smiling here from a side view, and he goes, heh. Then Hajime goes, what? Master, please, you can't do this. So he's all scared, and he's scared he's gonna die, so he's reaching out in fear. And you have intense rush lines in the background, and his whole face looks very intense, and like he's really in the moment, like he really doesn't want to die. And then in the very next panel, you have Hajime charging up his powers. So he has electric powers, so you can see him over here. Then he charges up his electric powers, and it goes, zzz. You can see the little sound effect as his left hand is surrounded by an electrical power, which this panel was really interesting to draw because he looks more adult. Like, I don't know, like his face looks like it's a little bit more of a straightforward angle here, like almost a front view, but over here is more of an intense side angle that I drew. So this was really interesting to see, especially with his hair looking like this. And I think I might make him one of the main characters in the future when I finish, because this was the first, like the preliminary round that I did for the manga. So then you have a close-up of the Shadow Sorcerer's head right here as he's looking in anger. Then you have Hajime's shocked face as he realized he's been stabbed. And it says Kachak, or Shaka, no, Kachak, because you read right. So you read right to left in manga, in case you guys didn't know that, because in Japanese, it's the way you read. So then Forbidden Sorcerer uses his chain and stabs him. So he has a couple moves, is my idea for him, is the Forbidden Sorcerer. He's like a sorcerer, so of course he has multiple moves. So he has his one move, which is his shadowy beam that you can see charging up right here, that can strike the good guy with lightning. And then he also has a shadow chain that he used to attack the bad guy and attack him and stab his stomach. So this guy Hajime is going to be the main character from the manga along with her. This manga is just a preliminary one that I drew. I might redraw it later, but this is my, like, for a separate little side story for how he started along. So my idea is that she is like a really noble and a really cool superhero who can melt things. So she has like a really strong power, like to melt things and to be really, and she's like really heroic and is a good guy. And this guy is more of like an anti-hero, this Hajime guy. So his power, my idea behind this game is his power looks like it's lightning, but that's not the only power he has. So he doesn't just have lightning powers. In the future, what I want his ability to be is for him to be like a card dealer or something. So I want him to be able to to be able to steal people's powers. So as long as he can like do something to them, then he can take away someone's power and turn it into a card, because I want it to be like, you know, still themed with cards because of dimension battles and all that. So his ability will be he collects different cards. And once he uses that card, he gains the power for like 5 minutes. He'll have that person's power, but he can only use one at a time. So my idea is he goes around collecting other people's powers, making deals, and being really sly, almost like Loki, or some kind of evil, like sneaky guy who like uses his powers to gain other powers and to like hopefully like manipulate and be really cool. So he's definitely like a bad guy, and that's why I wanted to pair him with this main character, who, because she's definitely more of a nice character or more of a heroic type who has good morals. So I think it'll be really cool to see a team up between these two characters who seem like they're really opposites, but I think it'll be really fun to see the way they interact with each other. Anyways, this was it for my Forbidden card. It's so funny that I actually ripped it in half. Oh, I didn't really talk about why I ripped it in half. So my idea behind ripping it in half is this guy was reincarnated as a card. So this character turned him into a card, so the Forbidden Sorcerer exists as a Dimension Battles card. But he's so powerful that even when the good guys tried to rip him in half and destroy the card, it reformed and became this evil card, the Forbidden Sorcerer. So that was a little bit of lore behind the Forbidden Sorcerer, who's the Forbidden card, which is funny. It's a forbidden card. And here is my manga. So if you guys did end up enjoying reading this, looking at me showcasing my manga and this homemade trading card, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Bye guys.